I just made a new original a few weeks ago. Right, here goes. I'm too fucked up, can't even look good with you. I'm sorry, baby, had to do this to you. I'm so high, the sky looks silly. I'm in your mind, but you're so busy, 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 baby, yeah. I need you now. I burn for you, kiss me all around. I know you can see me, would you like to do more? Baby, mirrors on the ceiling, make me the one that you adore. All night yours. I wanna be the straw that you're sipping cooking whiskey off of. I wanna put these lips on yours. Your fingertips, and when you bite down on my lip a bit, you're building castles in my head like you're an architect. Kaleidoscopic palaces, I can't get over it. I got your hoodie, cause you're so busy, busy, baby, yeah. I need you now. I'm bound for you, kiss me all around. I know you can see me, would you like to do more? Baby, mirrors on the ceiling, make me the one that you adore. All night, baby, I need you now. I'm out for you, kiss me all around. I know you can see me, would you like to do more? Baby, mirrors on the ceiling, make me the one that you adore. All night yours, all night yours, all night yours, all night yours. Thank you. Hi, Andy J. Martinez here. I just
Okay. Intro. Yeah, covering the Ariel Sellers, also known as Isabella Kulai, but Ariel uh, Sellers, her maiden name before she was stripped of her identity by CPS in a forced adoption. Now she's gone. Um, they can't find her. Yes, she went to sleep at night and couldn't be found in the morning, and it's a missing case. No, it's I mean, if your car's not there in the morning, do they just say it's missing? Is it a missing car case? Let's declare anything that's not there. It's just missing. People don't steal things. We can't say people steal things until it freaking happens. Please share this content. This is very important. Um, the forced adoption, how she, can't find her in the morning. She has a tendency to sleepwalk and sleep out in the yard. Just these ridiculous claims, statements that are just off the wall. There's other things to talk about. There's red flags along the way. We might have a family member coming in. We'll see. But this is we're on Facebook now. Stand by. And we are on where is Isabella? Isabella, you can see that there. Let me blow it up for you. Um, it's got some attention, but they call off the search. All of these children that have met, the most vicious fate imaginable. I mean, they're not there. We know what happened. We know what they want them for. We know, there's it's one of two ways with this child. What happened to her and what's being done to her, and there's really three things, and that's what we want to try to cover here. If you have any comments, let us know. Um, so, uh, powerful full case. let's just go to let me get some audio here of the family speaking. They did a interview, I think, just the other day. Let's see if I can find it here. Here it is here. No, that's not it. It's here. Here's what the family has to say.
Yeah, so our march that we're having on Friday is for a 1 month mark for ARIEL, and not only just for ARIEL in this sense. We want to bring awareness to all the children and the families that are affected by this. That there's a lot of missing kids out there that that are not actively showing like how we're putting ARIEL out there, and for us in Hawaii, like our keikis are our future, and it's like we're one big ohana. So it's like we wanna acknowledge them just as much as ARIEL is being acknowledged too, because we can only just imagine how these families are affected as well.
Okay, so someone in the chat is asking if you guys know if the police were able to physically go into neighbors' homes and check for her in case she is being held there. Did they do a door-to-door search?
So we know they did a door-to-door search. We don't know if they went into anybody's home.
Okay. Okay, so then another question I had for you is, are you guys planning any events in front of like the CPS buildings or in front of the police station?
So we had an event that was put together by Protect the Keiki in front of the CPS building last Wednesday. We are trying to figure out a date to do another one in front of the CPS, one in front of the state capitol, and one in front of the Honolulu police station on their main station in downtown.
A lot of people have asked me about starting a petition of some sort to change the Amber Alert system or to change CPS guidelines. Is that anything that you guys have been drafting?
Taryn or Auntie Robbie, would you guys like to answer that?
We are in the process, and what, because it's all about the verbiage, and we need to look at the policies and procedures of this alert, such as the Amber Alert and the Mighty Alert, and try to our alert is actually to bring awareness for all missing children of Hawaii, and it doesn't matter. Excuse me. It doesn't matter if they were abducted or such. We're looking at in this case, such as ARIEL and like Benny Boy and Peter Boy. So we are in a process of trying to kind of figure out how we can change the policy and update it as well. Yes, that is in progress right now.
I wanted to expand on that. I did see, again, I'm going to go back to that group that we have, the Where is Isabella group that a lot of us are participating in. And I see people, passionately putting out there, making laws and changing laws. And we are all about it and we are all for it. It takes a community to raise a child. And with what's happening here, it's going to take a community and every single one of us, all of our hands put together to make things happen. Like there's only a few of us, our family's only so small and we can't do everything. It's going to take a community. It's going to take a state to make a change, It's going to take every single one of us. So we can't do all of this alone, and we can't be doing what we're doing alone without every single one of you guys. And we need you guys. So yeah, we see the ideas. We see people going in there, making all these comments. We want to do this. We want to do that. We support you. If you want to, spearhead that for ARIEL, for all the missing children like Benny, yes, we support it. We definitely support it. And we would like to work with you to go ahead and get something like that done. Right now, yeah, our focus is child welfare and focusing on our family, our biological family who's in that system right now, to come back to us, to their biological family, us, and to find ARIEL. Like, that's number one for us. But we're not, we are thinking big picture too.
So do you guys mind if I ask, have you talked to the other children at all? Or do you know if they are in a safe location?
Okay, we're live here. Go ahead, caller. I'm sorry, you're on speaker now. Go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't too sure we were going live right now.
Clear, we're live right now. I'm sorry, we're live. Yeah, we've been live for a few minutes. Go ahead. If you have anything to say, let us know.
No. I don't know.
Where do we start? Yeah, we just want to know the status of the search. Are they still searching?
Okay. Yes. So yes, we're still searching. I'm not sure about law enforcement. They said that they're following up on their portion of it, whatever tips they get in, and they follow up on those leads.
Any lie detectors on the family?
So on that family, there was no lie detectors that we were made.
Yeah, how do you feel the investigation's going with some of the family members? We hear some of the family members aren't coming forward or not wanting to be interviewed. And
no, correct. So I'll go back to the lie detector one because so on that side, I'm not aware of any lie detector, them taking a lie detector test. On our family side, the mom did take a lie detector test. She voluntarily took one.
When you say on your side, I use the bio
so
mother.
I'm related to the biological mother.
Sure, yeah, that doesn't make a lot of that was who the detector was on, the bio mother, not the adopted mother. And how long was she adopted?
I'm not too sure. I just know from the same as you folks. I believe the adoption went through in February of this year.
Got it, February of this year. So just what, 8 months, less than 8 months, 7 months probably, and they can't find her in the morning. Yes. Wow. Got it. Yeah. Go ahead on where things are going, what's happening. There's just foul play everywhere across the board, and it's not treated as foul play. It's treated as I don't know. Is where's the investigation? Is it still active with law enforcement? And do you know the status of the siblings?
So with the three siblings, the three other siblings that were taken out of the home, we do know that they are separated and they were removed from that home. We do know that they are trying to fight for the kids to be returned back to the home.
Yeah, at this
current time, the other three siblings have been removed and are separated.
Got it. So there's a total of 4 kids that were adopted that are all bio to this family.
Okay, so 4 were in the custody of that family. Only 3 were adopted, and there is a 4th child that was in their custody that has not been officially adopted. Yeah.
Got it. And yeah, we're just trying to cover a lot of topics. There's so much to talk about here. The FBI, we heard they were brought in. Did they say that? Because we have a lot of missing kids, but they say they're missing. But we're wondering how the FBI came into your case when I think there's been a lot of other claims of missing kids, and they don't get involved. I'm curious why they would get involved here and if they're still active.
So, we heard the same as you, is the FBI stepping in and being a part of the case and getting involved. But at this point, we have no knowledge of their involvement, the extent of their involvement. They're not in communication with us. And so we really don't know what their role is.
Exactly. They should have contacted you, right? And we would expect to see the windbreakers, the FBI windbreakers, gathering evidence, taking boxes out of the house. This case, this case, they should have. So it should have been quarantined, the whole property. Yes, because this is another. This happened around the time of Petito case. It's like they were waging. There was right around when this case happened, September 10th, 12th.
Yes, well, the 13th was when they called it in, and they said the last time they saw her was the 12th. So they reported it on September 13th.
Got it. So 3 days after the 9/11 Potato case, this case comes out, and they were kind of balancing them, and we feel there's no FBI involvement. They may claim that, but the truth is, when they're there. You see them. You see active, not sheriffs, not dressed like sheriffs, not even dressed like, they have their own apparel their windbreakers. You see some sign of them,
Yeah.
and that's how they like to give their presence. It's almost like a form of marketing for them. Like FBI's there. Wow, you know, something's going to get done. Has
Yeah.
John Walsh been involved in this case? Missing?
No, you know, I tried to reach out to him and tag him in a bunch of things on my Facebook to try to get awareness out there, to get some support, get some help. But we haven't heard back.
Is she listed on the National Center for Missing and Exploited?
Not that we know of.
Yes, we could do a search. National Center Missing and Exploited. Have you looked? Did you just haven't? Yeah, have you searched? Have you did a name search? We haven't
done that because we've actually been out there searching for her. You know.
Clear. And is there any signs of domestic in the past, the drunk driving, any indicators of previous uncertainties, safety regarding the family she was adopted to?
Yes, there was concern as in a couple of the comments in posts and whatnot, and her biological mom Mel had made statements, you know, that she saw signs of abuse, and she spoke up and spoke out about it. And when she did that, her visitations were stopped. They actually stopped her visitation. She wasn't allowed to see her daughter, and it was like the adoptive mother, so when they were fostering at the time, you know, she's reporting back to child welfare for whatever. And this is what I heard from the bio mom them, that when after telling them, it was like she was reporting to the child welfare saying, oh, mom's not coming for her visits, she's not showing up. And really, when she was trying to go there and call and get her visits, that she was being deterred. Like, it wasn't happening for her. She wasn't being allowed her visits. And then the report back to child welfare from the adoptive fostering at the time was, oh, she's late for her appointments. And mom was late. She told me, you know, one time I was 15 minutes late, but I did tell her, you know, I tried to tell her I was running late. And so she was openly communicating with them, and, you know, just misinformation
may have been
shared.
Signs of bruising, any kind of abuse. They can't make it.
Yeah, she told about that, and I'm sure that it was reported back, and then all of a sudden she can't see her daughter. And, you know, we do have pictures up while, you know, she's in their custody and care that they posted on their own social media, you know, and you can clearly see that there's questionable physical bruising on her body and marks on her neck, and her hair alone, chopping her hair like that, you know.
I'm sorry, real quick, where can we see those pictures?
It's on social media.
You should Facebook, that page.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on that. Yeah,
you can go on to Where is Isabella.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. It's on the screen. Let's go there.
Yeah, and there should be pictures of her, you know.
You mentioned cutting of the hair. We see the eye in the picture. Is that a burnt poke through the fence picture?
Yes.
What is that about?
And that's right in front of their house.
That somebody did that to her.
Yes, somebody did that to her picture. It's a banner that's up in front of the Kalua's residence.
Sure. Yeah, very creepy.
That is creepy.
Who would do something like that?
You know, exactly my point. You know, why would you treat her picture like that? And if you're treating her picture like that, I could only imagine how she was being treated.
Exactly. And that's very totally disrespectful. And if it's a child, maybe there's another child there that used to get a kick out of abusing her. You never know. An older child, a relative, they're jealous of her. There can be all sorts of things that could have happened to her, but she definitely wasn't in a safe place. Yeah, creepy.
Definitely not. No, yeah, and they had the older child cut her hair off.
Oh, there we go.
Said that she had slime in her hair, so they had her older sibling, cut off her hair. And slime, you can wash slime out. There's no reason to have a child, who was 10 at the time, I believe, cutting her hair. I'm beside myself. I would never have my 10-year-old cut my baby's hair.
I'm listening. I'm saying the other child there, non-bio related, cut.
Bio. She's bio. She's her sister, and they had the sister cut it. So when you're in child welfare custody, you're supposed to get approval to even get a haircut.
Got it.
You need clearance for that. So just have the other sibling cut the hair. You know, like that way. I mean, why? For what?
Clear claims of slime, cut her hair off, missing visits for cutting visits off.
After she reported it to them that she saw clear signs of abuse on her daughter.
Sure. Yeah, we're looking on the website, on the Facebook page. It's called "Where is Isabella Kalua?" Yeah, we're trying to get the ARIEL name out there. We hate to confuse everything, but we want.
So her name is ARIEL. She was born ARIEL Sellers, and when they did adopt her, that other family, they renamed her. They gave her a whole new name, and at 6, almost 7 years old, your name is your name, and all of a sudden you have a whole new name, and that is another concern. You know, who does that?
Yeah, it's like identity theft. It's child abuse.
Yes.
It's changing the VIN numbers, giving a new social, taking the license plate. It's body transfer, human transferring of title, lien, as a piece of property. Sure. We're looking at a picture on the screen. Can you see the picture we have on the screen?
Yes, we can see her.
Yes. About what age is that? We're looking at that age because is that when her hair was cut off? Just because she looks kind of different in the two pictures, and I'm just curious if this picture's when she cut her hair off. It looks like it could be cut there in this one.
Yeah, so it kind of looked at one point that they had done multiple cuts on her, because if you go throughout some of the pictures, she has, it's at one length and then it gets shorter. And for us, we don't know if that was just maybe a way of them changing her looks.
Sure, yeah. Between the two pictures, she just kind of looks different there.
Yeah,
the cutting of the hair. That how many people lived in this house? Was this a mobile home?
No. So that house is on. It's in Waimanalo, and they have it's a multi-generational home. So they have multiple family members staying in the home, but they're not reporting it out there because they live on what we call Hawaiian homelands. And so if they're telling them they have all these people in the house, there's certain requirements they're supposed to adhere to. So it's not being reported or recorded, but if you were to watch that household, they have many people going in and out and in and out and staying.
Exactly. That's what I want to get to. That's where things can get hairy. That's where she could be abused by anybody, relatives. It's just not. It's a form of tribal land similar to Native Indian reservations, and they have certain sovereign rights. Are they running into things of using that to stifle the investigation or
no,
using
they're actually on federal government property. They're not in the sovereign land in that location.
They're
not
a federal. Okay, it's a federal funded reservation.
Yeah, federally funded
housing.
Yeah.
It's like they're on housing. They don't pay rent.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, no, it's a program to help. They get to purchase a home, and then you get a lease for it for 100 years, and then you can pass it on to the next person in your family. And
it's like a Section 8 with ownership, lease to own Section 8, we'll call it.
Yeah, something like that, but it's leasing for 100 years.
Got it. Has there been any contact with the siblings?
So we haven't had any contact with any of the siblings. We haven't gotten to see them. I did reach out to child welfare, so did one of my cousins, and then the girl's grandmother had contacted them, and she lives on another island. She's a licensed clinical social worker, certified substance abuse counselor, been in the human service field for 30 years, and she wants her grandchildren, and that is bio dad's mom. And they never even gave her a chance to get her grandchildren. And she's demanding them. She's telling them, where's my grandbabies? I want my grandbabies.
She never was notified, never had the opportunity.
No.
And the status of the bio parents.
The status of the bio parents. I haven't seen them lately. I know dad went to treatment. He was in a residential program. He came out and he's supposed to be doing an outpatient program. And mom is supposed to be getting some help too. She's homeless.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And I know that recently she asked the child welfare worker for the last child that she has not lost her rights completely for. She asked her, can I get a bus pass so I can go to town to try to get what I need done? Because she wants to do the right things to get her kids back. And especially this last one, and then work on getting the rest if she could possibly, They shouldn't even have left our family to begin with and given to strangers.
Clear. And so was there a lack of communication across the board in regards to the bios and just letting the whole family know? Or were there family members knocking at the time? Because it takes a while to adopt out. It can take a year to 2 years usually, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like a couple years. So we had family members knocking on CWS's door saying, hey, we want the kids. And it was child welfare's decision to turn away family members. They wouldn't let them get the kids. They turned them away and said, oh, they're in a good place, and they're fine. So they turned away family members. But yet they did not reach out to the grandparent, that one grandparent on the other side. And that is crazy to me because you would kind of follow a chain, with sending kids to their family members. And I would think grandparents would be the next in line.
Of course. The lack of, they never should have left the family. Do they have any Hawaiian native rights because they were born in Hawaii, and is there any rights that certain people born there or have certain ancestries of Hawaiian blood? Is there any protections like that, like for the Indians and the Inquas, and is that related to this case?
No, the only thing in relationship with that would be the housing where they live, with the 100-year leasing, so they qualified for that housing program, the federally funded program to assist with getting a place to live. But anything as far as ARIEL and that and extra money and funding, no.
Got it. So where are you at with this, and what's most important for you to share with what's going on in the status?
Right now is just continuing to get our name out there, getting whoever leads, tips sent our way for us to go out and search on that. Unfortunately, it's hard, to trust the government, the outside world, such as HPD or FBI or other resources, because at this point, we're being given so much information. It's like, who do we trust? Who do we turn to? Where do we get our help? But right now, the focus is on all our missing children because of the fact that it seems like they're being exploited.
Of course, we see that everywhere. That's all we deal with here is a lot of the exploitation, the most vulnerable, the targeting, the kids for cash, the profits being made off the adoption. It appears she was a forced adoption from the target market, the most vulnerable, the poorest, the singles, the broken family, to a number to meet the quotas. There, they have quotas to adopt out a certain number of children every year. You were mentioning some. We've seen the damage to the sign. We've seen possibly the haircut. Oh, I guess that's probably her haircut there. Yeah, it's all gone. Was there any images in there of a black eye? You mentioned a black eye.
Yeah, if you scroll through some of the photos and you do some detailed research on them, you will see the bruising. You can see that one of
the pictures with her with a face mask on. Her bangs are covering her forehead and almost covering her eyes to the sense where the mask and her bangs meet each other. But if you really zoom into her eyes, you can tell that her eye is clearly swollen, looks bruised.
She looks battered. She doesn't look at before and after, or some.
Yes, and that's our biggest thing, you know, is trying to get that knowledge of her being healthy and happy with the bio family, regardless if, you know, parents' history. The fact of the matter is the kids were just safe. You know, they were safer with the bio parents. We
can't imagine what she went through, where she's at, how dangerous it is. We're looking at the before and after right there. Is that picture a before and after from the mask to the previous? We just know what happens when children are being abused by their haircuts, their eyes. They don't sleep at night. They're not fed right. They're constantly under a tyranny abuse system from whoever. It could be anybody.
You know, one of the things that we were trying to make sense of is we can send a bunch of pictures too, but of her with the adoptive family, it seems to have always been just ARIEL that had a mask to cover her face, while nobody else in the photos had masks on. So that was another red flag for us.
Got it. Yeah, we see. Yeah, it's very odd. I mean, you know, it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, just 6 years old, in adoption for 7 months. Wake up in the morning and she's not in her bed. I mean, this is a Elizabeth Smart case. My God.
Yeah.
It's that level. And the 48 hours. I think I seen something on 48 hours. Is this going to any? Is there any major media covering this?
No, not that we are aware of it. We want the coverage. We want her name to be out there. We want to bring her home. We want everybody to see and to know and to be aware that she is missing and she didn't just disappear. And we don't want to leave her as a flyer on a billboard, like a little poster board or on a milk carton. We want her home.
Oh, it's touching. Yeah. So we feel it. I mean, it's so emotional just to look at her pictures and know the dangers, know the risks, know how CPS failed, know how all these adoptions need to be monitored every month. How dare they drop them off the edge of a cliff and say, there you go, you completed. To not monitor, to not the tracking devices. They need we're just there's so much that needs.
We don't want the rest of the kids to go back there. Our family, we are adamant about that. They need to be safe. And we have family members who are equipped, who are stellar, you know, have stellar backgrounds, who can provide a safe and loving home for them within their own family, not given to strangers.
Of course. And the trauma, we see it constantly. We've seen the worst cook in America, Victoria. Did you see that case where she was beat to death, and how the kids, what happens to the rest of the kids? They want to re-traffic them. They want to resell them. They completely failed. The whole system's broke. There was no life support, no protections at all once they're in adoption.
And they actually went to court to try to get those kids back, but they couldn't come out and search for ARIEL. They couldn't come out and make a comment, but they go to court to try to get the other kids back into their custody.
Boom.
I'm beside myself.
Boom. They have not made a public statement.
The adopted family.
They have not made a public statement, these adopters. Is that correct?
Yeah, they've only made one statement a week out, literally a couple after they retained their attorney. Other than that, you know, I'm a mom. One of my kids went missing one day out the house, and I was running, pounding on doors, screaming my head off, calling 911, crying, help me, and nothing. Crickets from these people. Crickets.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Which people?
The adopted family, the Kaluas.
Got it. They don't want to engage. Total disconnect. Total lack of simple empathy. Total cover up. Their connection, how they tested the bio mother on a lie detector, but they don't test. We have no reports of a passing for the family. These people that were passing through this home. Yeah, all the signs are there. All the red flags. People, you know, there's a time to really get out there. I mean, if they adopted the freaking but they have no problem going to court to say, give us the other kids back. And yeah, we know she's gone, but they don't want to go to the public and say we loved her like our own. That you know, we and it's not important. It's a child trafficking scam, forced adoption, didn't need to happen. And that's what we try to bring to light, and where she's at, and the danger she was in, and you know how it totally failed. Wow. Thank you for coming on. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you. We can give you a 24-hour show. You can broadcast from our channel. Let us know of the what else was there? This is going to be on YouTube, so we'll have a YouTube thing you can share. But we want this story to go constantly, and the fact that it's a total failed system. There's no protections. Shut down the black market adoption trade now. It's child trafficking. It's a black market. It's a kids for cash. There's quotas to do it, and it's there's 130,000 children ready for adoption, which is taking their license plate, take off their VIN number, you get a new name, you get a new social, and pushed out the door off a freaking cliff where there's no safety net.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We mahalo you, for having us and hearing Ariel's story and getting her name out there and her picture out there and awareness out there. We want everybody to see her face. We don't want her face forgotten. She did not just disappear.
Was she the only child with her name changed?
I'm not too sure.
Interesting, but that's enough. The family, the adopters haven't came out. We got another. This has all the signs of the petito case. They're just people not coming out in the most important times, but they'll show up at court. Yeah, can we get evil, the epitome of evil? We want to shut down adoptions. We want, as we know them, and unless they're mandatory, and get rid of the quota system where they have to adopt more every year to get this bonus quota thing, and take the money off their head. You can't adopt if you don't got no money. Basically, the kids would have been safer in a boarding home with a bunch of other kids where they build bonds, they build friendships. No, there was no supervision. They should. We put adoption at the levels of the worst, most dangerous place in the world. It's worse than worse than any prison system in the United States. You have a chance in the prison system. You have other people. People are looking. You're in a cell. These children have no protections, and it's worse than the worst prison in the United States for the most vulnerable and the most innocent.
No, you're right. I actually wanted to say one more thing that you made come back into my head. The adoptive dad has 4 felony charges.
Wow.
4 felony charges on his record.
We never.
And for assault.
Oh my God.
Terroristic, threatening. There's abuse.
Oh.
And the mom, his wife. She has drug charges. She has a felony class C drug possession charge on her that she got dismissed because she went through a program to get it as such. So we took a child who is at risk, high risk, vulnerable, and then we placed them into a just as vulnerable position to care for her. He can't own a gun, but he can take our children. Like, they can have our children. You can't own a gun, but you can take care of our children.
Those are serious charges. Those are very serious felonies. Convictions on 4. We're going to look for those. Enough's enough. I've heard enough. We know that there's kids for cash, child trafficking going on internationally, but using foster care, using adoption. This one really tips the boat with the convictions, the type of convictions, violent convictions. It's impossible. We don't know what happened to her. They can be sold, they can be compromised, bribed, sold, drugged because she was crying at night, drugged.
Yes, because another red flag with that is that 1 month out, they want to change their story to she was possibly abducted / may have wandered off.
So how do they go from changing their story saying, oh, this little 6-year-old wandered off, but then it's a possible abduction? So their story hasn't matched from the get-go.
Got it. And again, with those, those are red flags we haven't seen. Those are so blatant, so overrunning that there's a collusion with these people to get them to them, a volume of children, and by any means necessary for who knows what. So yeah, for bringing that up. Thank you. That's probably some of the most important stuff we need to know here, that they've never came out and said anything. They go to court to say, yeah, can we have the kids back? And there's criminal charges on both of them.
Yeah. And with hers having it dismissed, I understand that, people do change or whatever, but with all that, they had a history and they shouldn't even be considered. And
could you repeat?
Even with another thing, the hired attorney, we feel is a conflict of interest, being that adoptive father and the attorney are friends. They have a history of being friends.
Okay, adopted father and which attorney?
Their attorney.
Got it. Okay. Got it. The one they hired. Yeah, who hires an attorney?
Yeah, exactly. You have nothing to hide.
Oh my God. We're very concerned. Where do we stop? Can you repeat those charges on the adopted father again?
Hold on. Sorry,
sure.
She's
Take
trying
your
to
time.
go and look for it.
The show is yours. Take your time. I think you mentioned like 4.
Yeah, there's 4 felony charges that he has on his record.
Wow.
And it's public knowledge,
Got it. We're gonna look for that.
Public knowledge. It's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. The collusion. This is child trafficking. She's a child traffic victim. Let's call it what it is: a CPS child traffic victim, and she's met the worst fate to be missing off the planet as we know her.
Yep.
Got it. Three. Sleuth Mom is on with us. She.
Oh yes, she has it. She knows the charges. You can ask her.
We'd love to have her on. Thank you. That we're fine.
Yeah.
If you could bring, Sleuth Mom, if you could click the link, we'd love to bring on your voice. Thank you for calling in, caller. We really needed to bring some air to this, and the viewership is climbing, and this is such an important case. They're more. This one, it happened at the same time as the potato case, so we're just like it's. And to call off the search and we're seeing the 48 hours logo there in the top left, but you have no connection that this was ever on 48 hours or mentioned or on the National Center for Missing and Exploited.
Yeah, we're not confirmed on that.
Got it. Thank you for calling. It's been a pleasure. You there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. If there's anything you'd like to say.
Is Sleuth Mom on with us?
Sleuth Mom, I put the link out there. Again, that's our YouTube channel. If you look on the screen now, you can find this video to share it. It's going to be on YouTube. It's an easy way to share. What else here? So anybody wants to come on live. But we have to have this content circulated on the internet 24 hours a day, where it's constantly being live fed and on an automated feed, specifically on our channel. And we can inbox me, or we'll talk later, and we can get you set up with that. All you need is a computer, and boom, we could play it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the CPS News Network.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you for calling, caller. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. Over now. Oh, wow. There was so much. We've been so caught up in that potato case. This case was just so much more important. But we're constantly trying to show how they're treating the potato case and how they treat all the other kids. Again, unconfirmed that she's even on National Center Missing and Exploited. Definitely exploited. Coming, loading. Sorry, Debbie, allude. Thank you. But I didn't talk on this live. We see you people out there. Let's keep this going. Again, this is the YouTube channel. You can get this video. You can constantly share it, constantly play it, do a live feed. But yeah, the goal is to get this stuff out there constantly, 24/7. Appears we have a sleuth mom on Facebook. Go ahead, sleuth. Sleuth mom.
Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Just get everything set up here.
We're good. Take your time. Again, there is a Facebook page.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead. Let us know who you are, basically, and anything you'd like to say. Go ahead.
So, yeah, we're just trying to, like, I appreciate what you guys are doing right now to get her face out there, because that's our end goal, is to spread this as far and wide. I mean, I'm just a brand new YouTube station, so less than 200 followers, and I'm just trying to do what I can to put this out there, because Gabby Petito is getting so much coverage 24 hours a day, all the time. And there are other children that are kind of in the background, and we want to bring them to light. The whole circumstances surrounding Ariel's disappearance, it just blows my mind that this hasn't gone viral.
It's a smart case. It's that powerful. It's so emotional just having to deal with this stuff constantly, and the way they did just it's dealt this way for a reason. It's not branded. It's not marketable. Maybe because her hair wasn't blonde, or she didn't have blue eyes like Elizabeth Smart, or Polly Klaas, or nobody wakes up in the morning and the child's gone and then say they're missing. She's been stolen, and they come out screaming and yelling, holding pictures in front of the press. Help me find her. Help us reconnect. Again, how the family hasn't spoken. The things we found out just today are it's just a total hit in the head.
And I missed the beginning of everything that Taryn was saying, but there are other things that didn't add up too. There are neighbors that went to work around 7 that morning, said that Sunny and Luha never came out searching. They never knocked door to door. They weren't out looking whenever police arrived. They were just sitting there. And who does that? Like, if your child is missing and you think she went outside and wandered off, why aren't you screaming in the streets? Why aren't you looking? It's been red flags from day one.
Got it. And we haven't been talking about that. And the lie detector on the bio mother. That's what we heard reports of.
Yeah, they took FBI, or not FBI, HPD investigated the entire biological family, but didn't investigate the adoptive family at all, because they lawyered up the very first day. Woo! And then their statement wasn't released until a week later. The lawyer did a 2-hour recorded statement, and that's what they gave to HPD.
Wow. Unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Unheard of red flags. And then to have the audacity to go back and want possibly the other siblings.
Right.
Yeah, Sleuth Mom, you're just coming out. We seen you on YouTube. We've seen that video. That's how we connected. I'm going to put that link out there for those to hook up with that to get you. But yeah, have you covered other cases?
Yeah, I have looked into other cases. Angel Nicole Overstreet is still missing. She was 3 months old whenever she disappeared. And it's another case where the mother lost custody at birth. And instead of her going to a grandmother's house, she went to the mother's boyfriend, who had felonies in his history. And she's missing now. And he's in jail currently for abusing his mom. She's in a nursing home for the rest of her life now. So we know he's a violent offender, and then this baby is missing. And then Khaleesi is another case that I've covered. And there's a couple.
Sure. The Summers case. Now we have Sellers. Summers. Mm-hmm. Summers got some attention. Is there any activity with protests at the CPS building. Anybody just bullhorning that there's claims here in the comments that they're hindering prosecution, possibly law enforcement. I mean, it's just the quash the case. Don't want to put light here. Don't want to. I mean, get these people.
So they're kind of like trying to cover it up and say that they did their jobs and investigated. Whenever I put out the claims, I showed straight from their own website that they do a 5-year background check. It's right on Hawaii's main website. And I showed directly from there, and they're saying in the newspaper now, no, we do a full background check. But if that's the case, then how did they have custody of these children?
Exactly. So there's many times we know that there's a covert cult to sex traffic these children, traffic them for money, get insurance policies, all sorts of things. Every element of evil that you can imagine that is being exploited on adopted children the hardest, because there's no monitoring after, say, maybe I think you may be monitored for the first 6 months.
6 months. That's it. But in Hawaii, if you have had custody of the children for more than 2 years in foster care, they don't even do the 6-month follow-up. So literally since January, she has not been checked up on.
I'm sorry. I'm on soda right now, but could you repeat that part again?
So in Hawaii, I found in their website, CPS does not mandate follow-up care if you have had custody of the children in foster care for longer than 2 years. So the Kaluas have had Isabella and her siblings for 3 years now, so she wouldn't have had any follow-up care since January when she was adopted. And I believe that that's why we see such a downfall in her pictures, because she goes from a semi-healthy looking kid to some of the last pictures this summer are just terrible. You can tell she was starved, possibly abused. They just get really bad.
Good. Yeah, we're looking at here. We got the one on the screen. Lots to talk about, lots to show here. The mask one with her thumb up.
She looks awful.
God, exactly. Up all night, not sleeping at all. Up all night. And it's so different people going through the house, relatives. Enough. Yeah, just all the red flags, and just that it seems like there's not been a statement, and that the department, police, they let us know that we're still working on it. An update from the chief that they've called it off. What does that mean when they called off the search? We've heard they called it off.
Yeah, they called off the search on September 20th was the last day that police searched for her, which means that at this point they're moving to it's a recovery mission, or that they've said over and over that she wasn't kidnapped. So what do they think happened to her? Exactly. Amazing. How would they know?
Amazing that they would make that statement. I would love to have that on audio or video. Of them saying that when that's exactly what's happened, exactly what has happened, or foul play at the house,
right?
And we have to so it's a recovery.
The last time that a family member has said that they seen her was August 16th, and that's somebody on the Kaluas side. I haven't had any buddy come forward saying that they have seen her since August 16th, which tells me, yeah, they had like a whole month before they reported her missing potentially.
Clear. She could have been gone a month. We're looking at some of the signs coming out, but everything has to stop. This issue is the most important issue in America. How dangerous it is, the kids for cash, the huge amounts of money involved, and the torture, the terrorism on the most innocent, the most vulnerable mothers. It's a target market, and quota system and no supervision, and all the kids are selling online. I'm glad the schools are closed. I hope they all close. Something's wrong. The teachers aren't teaching kids what they need to know. Everybody needs to be, the foster care is just so dangerous, and they should have
It is.
helmets. They should go through learning courses. They should have helmets. They need to.
There's no reason that these children are taken out of homes to protect them, but they have a 45% more chance of dying. Like, why is that? If they're supposed to be going into homes to protect them, why are they at a 45% greater risk? You look at cases like ARIEL and then Orrin and Orson West. Don't know if you've heard of them, but they also went missing shortly after their adoption.
Sure. Yeah, this one. Yeah, we have the Victoria case, the worst cook in America.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with that case?
Yeah.
Yes, Victoria. Beat to death, call 911. She's drowning from drinking too much water. I don't know. She has something like that. But just the abuse, the adoption was not final in the Victoria case. This was final, and just and again, April 16th, last known sighting. It's not
August 16th.
I'm sorry, yeah, August 16th, 2021. Not reported until September 13th. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Got it. So, neighbors, I mean, there should be talk, but everybody, don't get involved. There has to be. I mean, how can you say that nobody's seen her? The activity in and out of the house, school, homeschool. We haven't heard the homeschool thing. What's the status on that?
So it said that she was pulled out of school in June because they were going to be doing cyber again this year. So I don't know if that's true or not. I've also heard that she had went to school a couple weeks, but then they pulled her out. So we haven't had a verified thing because the news articles are contradicting in that.
Got it. If she was homeschooled, it's hard when Isabella, is it ARIEL? We like to use their real name to get the word out. So we just want to try to remind people of that. It's very important to get we don't want to use the predator's name, but the way it's written there, Kalua ARIEL, that's okay. It's important to do it both ways, actually, just to anytime you share, put both.
We wanted whenever newspaper articles, because all the newspaper articles show Isabella Kalua.
Okay.
Anything that people could Google search is going to show Isabella Kalua. It doesn't show ARIEL Sellers because that's what the media has been going by.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. So it's actually probably to do them both is ultimately the best. So it can be picked up. Looking at some more pictures here.
Go 3 pictures to the left of that one, or right there, right where your pointer was. Click on that one.
Okay, this one here. Okay.
Look how awful she looks in this picture.
Oh, Auschwitz.
Yeah, this is one of the last pictures of her, and she looks awful compared to how she looked before. Like, what were they doing to her?
It was
and none of the other children look sickly. And so it makes me think that they were singling her out.
Oh my God. Horrific abuse. Her arms. You can see the skinniness of her arms. She's what they call them, a waif. She's being starved systematically. Signs of starvation there. Yes. This case reminds us of the, was it Natalie Finn? There's just so many. The Rays of Sunshine. They had an adopted girl and they had her looking like this. This is a flashback of that where she was so skinny in a picture. Sabrina Ray adopted. They had a picture similar to this that we're looking on the screen, and somebody went and colored her face darker to so she wouldn't look like a pale skeleton of abuse. But this one here, no one's touched this up.
No.
From the hair.
I'm shocked that they even posted this picture, honestly.
Of course. Of course.
Because you would think all the other pictures they posted, whenever stuff started to get later in the year, she was always off in the distance. There's a picture of her on the beach. All the other kids are in swimsuits. She's wearing a long sleeve shirt and long sleeve pants, and it's taken from about 15 feet away. You can barely see her. And if the pictures aren't like that, then she has a mask on and nobody else in the picture does. So I'm shocked still that they posted this one like this.
How about her leg? Her leg looks kind of
Yeah.
funny. She's in pain. It hurts.
Well, see where her hand is? That's a classic sign of sexual abuse. And I hate to put that on her, but whenever children are sexually abused, they often protect their genital area.
It's a natural thing. That
Mhm.
it's constant when it's
Yeah,
repetitive.
then the knee bending in and the hand in that location. Now, I haven't been able to see enough pictures of her to know if that's something that could have been going on, but that's what that pose right there kind of reminds me of.
Of course, you can understand that. Wow. Wow. Awesome. Do you have a Facebook page?
I do. Everything is just Sleuth Mom.
Are there more sleuth
I'm
moms out there? It seems like a good name.
No, I don't think so, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like I said, I just started out literally on September 11th. I made my YouTube channel to make videos for Angel Nicole Overstreet and Khaleesi because I had approached other larger creators and they weren't interested in covering their cases. So it was a couple days later whenever I learned about ARIEL. And I felt like I need to help out with this because nobody was interested. Again, I took her to other larger creators. Nobody wanted to touch it. So because Gabby Petito was such a big thing. And so that's how I got where I am. I just want to help this family. I want to help other families that aren't getting the help that they need to get their stories out there.
Exactly. And then shut it down. Shut down what's happening. No protections. So everyone that's silent. We got too many cowards out there. When I say cowards are they're some of the worst people you could ever be. The cowards, they say, oh, it's a cowardly act. Cowards. No, everybody that's not talking about this, everybody that's saying there's no protections, everyone that says should be calling out, putting the pressure on this family, the people involved, the people that adopted her, putting pressure everywhere and not saying this happened for a reason, but they say, oh, it's broken system. No, it's working just the way it's supposed to. Accountable to no one.
Right.
Get out of our way. This is revenue for everybody. Huge amounts of money.
Well, and that's why the major news stations won't cover it. They won't cover certain cases on purpose. I fully believe that because they know that there's deeper stuff going on.
We've seen the 48 hours thing. I don't know where that came from, if that was actually a reference, or if she's on National Center for Missing and Exploited. Is she?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, there's a lot of kids on there though, and like the details on their flyers, like it's not enough to actually find them. You know what I mean? Like it's just enough to say, oh, well, we did this. It's not enough to actually locate the child.
Where do we go? Life alert bracelets on all of them. They can tell if they stop breathing, if it can tell where they're moving around. I don't know. Panic buttons. But again, it's the cowards. It's the silence. All your cops, all your social workers, all your politicians are silent on this. They should be right there. If I was a council district member, I'd put a podium in front of that place and I'd make a statement that we're going to fight to put protections. She had no protections and suffered. That looks like a bruise on her right arm, possibly.
Yeah. So there's a bruise, it looks like, on her arm. And then if you look, there's like a cut on her neck almost, it looks like.
Clear. A nail.
And then there's a cut on her cheek. Like that's not a mole, that's a cut.
Got it. Yes. abused, clearly abused.
And
Clearly
the neighbors have said that these children were never outside. So she didn't get these injuries playing outside. Like normal kids get beat up and bruised, you know, playing sometimes. But these children were not permitted out of this house.
How about the sleeping, this claim of sleeping outdoors? She was a sleepwalker.
So there are neighbors that live right there that leave between, you know, 5 and 6 a.m. They said they have never seen her in the yard. So, according to the adoptive parents' lawyer, they had cameras and a door system that alarmed at around 1 a.m. that night. But for some reason, that specific night, it glitched. So they have no records and no camera footage from that evening.
They have a 24-hour surveillance door.
Mm-hmm.
Clear. Yeah, the oddities, the neighbors, never seen the kids in the yard. Yes, it brings back memories of other cases where they don't see the kids. They're living the covertness. And what are your reports on multiple people possibly living there?
So we know for sure that there is an uncle that stays there, and then the grandfather is in and out of the house quite often as well. The neighbors say that it looks like a constant party is going on the weekends, especially with just people coming in and out.
Wow. Just unheard of. Like, she may not have even been at this house.
Right.
That's what we need to get down to.
Right.
She was trafficked. Definitely trafficked. Definitely abused. All the signs are there. The views just keep climbing. You know, we had 12 for a long time. Now we're up to 85. But thank you all. Please keep sharing this content. Help us shut down CPS. Help us hold people accountable. Call out all your cops. Call out all your agents. Call them out. Every one of them. Nobody's doing their job. That's how they get away with this. Cowardice.
And we need real law changes too. Like this has to be stopped because it doesn't work. This system that we are doing does not work for multiple kids over and over and over again. So we have to change this. Like, reach out to your legislative government and help get this changed.
Sure, of course. We have to shut it down. It can't be reformed. It was designed this way. It was, we hear the parents of bios had some issues, but there's bio family out there, and you knock on those bio families and you fund them to take in the child. It's just the probability of safety is they're 10 times more likely to be abused in foster adoption care than with family. And stop the quotas to traffic. She's a child quota. She's a quota system, and she may not have even lived at the house where they're claiming they lived. It doesn't appear that way. I mean, if a child is not seen outdoors, period, there's something wrong.
Right.
Claims of sleepwalking, who just makes
and no scent dogs followed her scent out away from that house. The scent dogs did not pick up on her. Like, she did not wander away.
Wow. And we're sick of Fox. We're sick of Nancy Grace. Nobody's covering this like it needs to be. And nobody's doing their job. Everybody, public servants, a coward. Coward. I would even say they're worse than a coward. They're actively participating. These are public servant agents that are not demanding that this be shut down. The industry. It's an industry of kids for cash, child trafficking, forced adoption, new social, new birth certificate, tampering with their whole identity, name changes, no monitoring, no supervision, the most horrific acts of abuse, child trafficking, sex trafficking, every deviant thing against the most innocent, the youngest, the children, the babies, the infants is happening in foster care and black market adoptions, and it even gets worse in black market adoptions. We have kids missing 10 years, the Bryant brothers, and adopters getting $170,000 for 10 years, and the kids haven't been seen. This is beyond perversion. Don't hold everybody accountable. Don't give anybody a hiding place if they're not talking about this, period. And how important this is, because the safety of children and families should be paramount. And that's the whole problem with everybody out there. Everybody, that we have a war going on. This is a systematic terrorist war on children and families, kids for cash. It's beyond the money. Who's funding all the money? Where's all the money coming from? How's it being printed out of thin air? Why is there no auditing? I can go on and on. Go ahead. Mom Sleuth. We're here live with Sleuth Mom on YouTube. Take over.
Yeah, you're right though. It is. It's a money racket, and I'd like to know, exactly who approved all of this, who let her go here, and who organized it. Because there was a reason that she was taken out of her house, put into CPS, and they didn't reach out to family. I want to know why. I want to know how long she's been gone and what they did with this poor baby. They threw away her photo album at least a week before she was reported missing. What was in that photo album? What type of pictures? What were you hiding? And so
how did you find this out? The disposal of a photo album. Go ahead.
So whenever the searchers went to the city dump to search, there was a group of homeless there. Whenever they showed ARIEL's picture, a person pulled it out and said, "Hey, we found this a couple days ago while we were dumpster diving." It was about a week before, they said. And the uncle works at the dump where this thing was found that lives with her.
And it doesn't exist anymore. The view counts are climbing. We've never had this many viewers for this type of an issue. Thank you, viewers. Please keep sharing that we need to shut this system down, shut down CPS as we know it, start over.
Sorry, you broke up. Yeah. I missed parts of that.
Thank you. We need to start over from square one. Nancy Schaefer spelled it all out. Shut it down completely. This is a child traffic racket run by the government, run by courts, run by CPS, black market adoptions, everyone's complicit. If she would so-called go outside. Yeah, we don't need to talk about anything. We're probably looking at least 30 powerful red flags on this case. All the strongest red flags you could ever see, that it was rigged. It was rigged against the family. It was rigged to traffic and every other deviant thing you can imagine. It can happen and does happen and appears, and all the evidence shows that it was happening here. Go ahead, Mom.
You're right. Sorry, you broke up a lot of that. My computer was trying to load RAM, so I missed a lot of what you said, but we need to get protesters at the CPS buildings. We need to get protesters at the state capitol. We need it everywhere, though, not just Hawaii. Her voice needs to be heard everywhere, and we need to get this shut down and the system changed for ARIEL. This needs to be a movement in her name.
Thank you. There's so many other victims there. Of course, we've been covering this 7 years. We do this constantly. Again, it's working just the way it's supposed to. It's not broken. The kids are safer in boarding homes than they are with strangers for money and quota systems. They're safer when they're all together and they're hyper supervised with cameras and they're going to get what they need. And it's that natural human innate contact with others where you build families with the other kids that you meet. They become, it's that humanity coming together like a tribe. And people that go to prison, you get schooled. There's people looking out. You can get educated what to expect, you're anywhere from 13 to 18, those vulnerable years, but you're going to learn from others how to survive. And these kids aren't getting survival skills. They're getting pushed off of a cliff. And that's what we want to bring to light. And we want these shows to go on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have the power. We have the opportunity. We've waited for this opportunity. We waited for the wake-up call. The wake-up call's here. The wake-up call is with the mask thing and all this mandate stuff and all this stuff that doesn't make any sense. And they throw so many lies at you. It's the same thing with CPS. All the lies, all the manipulation, all the lies and the manipulation. They flood you with lies. They flood you with manipulation. They traumatize you, and you don't know what to do. So you polarize to what's easiest. And that's what people are doing with this mask thing. It doesn't make any sense. And everything we've been told about it. And it's a wake-up call. all eyes are on the government like never before. That we call it a war. We are the founders of the foster war. She's a war victim. These are war crimes. Go ahead, Mom Sleuth.
Yeah, and we need to make sure that this doesn't continue to happen to other children. There's no reason for this. Absolutely none. Besides, like you said, a money-making racket. We have to stop the trafficking of our children. The mask in itself is just the perfect storm for kidnappers. How are you supposed to identify if a child is yours or not walking out the door with strangers if they have a mask on?
Of course, the mask thing, whatever it be, it's child abuse. It's the control of your life, the control of your family. The government's coming in. Get your freaking shots. Yes, it's untested. Yes, we've never done this before. Yes, you're a lab rat. Yes, it's not fruits and vegetables and vitamins and minerals and a warm pillow and a clean blanket to sleep on. Take your shot. We love you. We want to save you. Where's the shot for these kids and their safety? The shot for the safety. We live in an upside down planet, and it needs to be called out and discussed about properly. That these vaccines, they're not vitamins, they're not minerals. They don't tell you. They don't really tell you what's in it. They don't have to tell you their trade secrets, right? These the graphene oxide they're claiming is in this stuff, but whatever it is, it's not human and it's not natural. And the way you protect people from common colds, is rest, nutrition. The government should be funding fruits, vegetables, vitamins. That's what a real vaccine is all freaking about. It's not a shot in your freaking arm. That's like somebody told me. I said I was breathing this air, and I said, "Is it bad for me?" And it was like smoke or something. And he told me, he said, "Any air that's not pure is bad for you. Period." And it's no different with vaccines or any other thing. If it's not natural, it's usually not good for you. So wow, great discussion. Thank you, viewers. Any last words, or if you want to keep going, go ahead, Mom.
I just want to make sure that people just keep sharing her story and sharing her name. I want to reach out to the news media that isn't covering this case continually. You brought up COVID. Why do we see the COVID numbers constantly scrolling, constantly getting notification, but we can't take 12 seconds to post ARIEL's flyer on the news and say, hey, she's still missing. We still don't know where she is. Please help find her. Like, that's all we need. We need people to call the tip line. I know that Hawaii is about being loyal to your ohana, but we need people who are loyal to their ohana to consider her your family. Please consider her your family. Put yourself in her parents' and her aunt's shoes and have some type of loyalty to get her name out there, because she is somebody's sister, somebody's cousin, somebody's daughter, somebody's grandbaby, and she needs to be found. So I just want to close down by saying, if you're watching this and you know when the last time she was seen was, if you're watching this and you know where the Kaluas may have hit her or who they may have given her to, please call the tip line. Please reach out to the family. Do something so that this baby can be brought justice.
Thank you, Sleuth Mom. Very excited. Work with us, Sleuth. We need you. We love your voice. And again, cpsnewsnetwork.com. You can go there and see all the we probably have at least 75 child victims there that have been murdered in foster care. This is exactly, we're looking at a picture here of the child with her haircut. This is Auschwitz. She may not have even lived there. Don't believe anything you're being told. We're being lied to about everything. So yeah, thank you, caller. We really appreciate it, and let's work together more in the future. Yes, we have so much power. Our viewership has broken 500,000, approaching 500,000. But we're climbing back up, and this is the most important topic in America. Is the CPS trafficking of children to foster care. It's too dangerous. It don't work. Well, what do we do with the kids? Where do we put them? if they have to be somewhere, they're all going to be put together. And that's where we come in with the remedy to solve all this. Nancy Schaefer Resource Centers, in honor of our loving politician from Georgia who spelled it all out 10 years ago, who said it's a crime against humanity, who says it's a crime against religions. It's the epitome of all evil, and that they have to break up the family unit to get this accomplished. Nancy Schaefer, Senator, Georgia, murdered with her husband, double suicide claims, organized. This couldn't be done without systematic collusion of the FBI, the CIA, all of your politicians. All, don't give. They all have to go. They've taken too long. There's so many of these cases, and it's collusion across the board, and everybody's silent. Even school, everything has to stop. We've had that stopping moment with the mask thing. It really put the brakes on a lot of things, and it's changed a lot of people's perspective. But still, there's an opportunity, and never in history has the government, people had an extra eye open on that what's really going on. And you better wake up, people. Your children are on the line, their lives, their future. I can't imagine being a child in this day of age with all the manipulations and with media, internet, phone, the school system, the masks, all the trauma they can experience online through viewing it. Just a whole different culture being conditioned through control of the media, control of Facebook, control of any major entity that has a communications platform to guide people down their venue. And your pastors, all your church pastors, they're in on this. All the silent ones. It's very easy to see who's who, and not demanding that this be shut down, or at least bringing light to it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no unity. There's no unity with all religions across the nation. There should be, there's no Martin Luther King of today. Do we have a Martin Luther King? Do we have somebody famous going to this site? No, they don't exist. And why is that? Imagine that we don't have no people, major leaders anywhere. And everything's controlled, and we could have solved a lot of problems 20 years ago, but everything's controlled, and that's why problems aren't getting solved, and they're going to continue to not be solved until you hold these people accountable. Everybody who's silent on this issue. Nancy Schaefer, Senator Georgia, said, I asked all the senators across America, help me. They said, Nancy, if we help you in support against child abuse, child trafficking, child rape, I will lose my job. They're all in on it. That's the bottom line. In complicity, you're in on it. You're a public servant. You're a police officer. You're a police chief. You're a pastor. You're a worker. You've heard of this. You've been exposed to what they're doing systematically. You're in collusion. Completely complicit. Coward. So see something. Say something. Let's get that across this evening. Was there anything else? Oh, it looks like we signed up with Mom Sleuth Mom. Wow. Thank you, viewers. Ted Gunderson. Yes, Ted Gunderson. He was blowing the whistle, saying they were selling children on an auction block. But I know what happened here. I can see that face and her body posture. I know what happened here. This is a Sabrina Ray. Let me just bring in Sabrina Ray, and man, we could do merging pictures, and you'll see the same thing. This is abuse. This is Auschwitz. This is child trafficking, and so many other things. Man. So yeah, let me just take you there real quick. Lots of coverage. Yeah, I hate to close that screen, but yeah, we'll go back. Yeah, CPS News Network. We have the largest probably collection of just trying to keep stuff on the surface. We have about 700 pictures here. You're viewing cpsnewsnetwork.com, covering a lot. You're going to look for Sabrina Ray in here, but just a lot of images of murders and rapes and sexual and Everyone's making money. The lawyers, the judges, the bailiffs, the cops, everybody's a hero, right? Hero. We arrested this person. Here, well, you arrested them, but what are you doing to prevent it? Well, that's, we can't do that. We can't even talk about how to make things better or safer. There it is. There, all these kids kidnapped, trafficked, murdered, horrifically. Here's our matriarch, Nancy Schaefer, Senator, Georgia. She solved it 10 years ago. So the complicity and how it can be stopped. Foster war. We're still in the foster war. Foster war has been going on, 3-4 years now. 2021. The foster war. Stop fostering children. Here's Natalie Finn. She was starved to death. Let's look at her. Again, starved to death. The adoptive mother said Natalie needs to go. She was asking neighbors for food. How could they leave that child there? And horrific. But that's a major case. There's 2 cases. I think it's in Ohio or Iowa. It's Natalie Finn and Sabrina Ray. I mean, if these cases can't stop nothing that have been going on for decades, nothing's going to do it. There we go. There's Sabrina Ray. Is there any resemblance there? We can put those side by side with the other picture. She was beaten and starved. What do the adopters do when she's murdered? They go to Disney World and make sure to throw the phone into the lake. Her cell phone, the adopters. They all got charged. Systematically raped, molested, abused since birth with Sabrina Ray, Rays of Sunshine daycare. Trafficking her. Look at their face. She's not happy. Put in a basement with other adopted kids that watched her die. That's Sabrina Ray right there. 16 years old. There's even a worse picture than that. All these kids. Most important issue right here, right now. Talk about it. Share it. There's Natalie Finn again. Again, 6 months apart, starvation, 1 state. No changes there. Everything's normal. Are you monitoring adoptions? No, we're not going to monitor adoptions. Man, we're child traffickers. We don't want to monitor adoptions. We can show you 130,000 children ready for adoption. Again, this is CPS News Network. Years of activity with this. Years, the legendary Alexandria Hill. These cases are everywhere. We want a great wall, a great monument for all these kids to the Great Wall, that this is never going to be happening again, and we want reparations for all the families who these children were taken from. Beat to death. The foster parent dies in jail. Taken for mama smoking pot in a loud argument. But this you can just go on and on. Kendra Drea Johnson hanging from a bunk bed. Yeah, and had a suicide note, age 6, same age as ARIEL. So keep this all in mind. It's all spelled out. Stop everything. Everything needs to stop. Stop talking about nonsense. We got a war on children. This is an organized, systematic war. It's the foster war. Hashtag it. Look it up. This has all the elements of war on children, babies. It's beyond kids for cash, kids for sex. It's a kids for sex trafficking ring. Kids for cash, kids for sex, kids for molestation, kids for rape. deal with this a long time, dealt with families. Nathaniel dropped on his head. Here's one. Here's a so-called missing. They're kidnapped. They're not missing. I'd love them to put a missing car. Yeah, my car's not in the driveway. Well, sir, we can only classify your car as missing. Unless you know who took it or seen somebody take it, your car is just missing. Call the insurance company. Yeah, I'm trying to report my car's been. What do you mean stolen? Did you see who took it? Do you know? No. Then how do you know it's stolen? It could just be missing. It's disgusting the way they talk about this. So, thank you all for watching, trying to get the points across. Yeah, screw world news. If they didn't, we're going to go into comments. Ask any questions you like. We're live right now. We're going to take about 5 or 10 more minutes. Yeah, shouldn't adopted her. World news. Yeah, screw that. Screw Inside Edition. They're all in on it. Inside Edition's in on it. Nazis. Yeah, Inside Edition. They're in on it. I could prove that to you. I could prove Inside Edition is in on child trafficking. It's very powerful. It's fascinating, but when you understand the money involved, it's the most lucrative, powerful substance in the world. Child trafficking, kids for cash, kids for rape, selling children to pedophiles. All about dollars. Yeah, it's more than that. It's about sex with kids. These perverts that run our government, all the politicians, they want majority. Well, the people that control everything, they want sex with children. They want money. They want exploitation. They want funding. They want jobs. So I could take you. Let me see where I could take you. I want to just go to missingkidsla.org. No, it's missing kids. Yeah, missingkidsla.org. It says it's loading. So enough talking. You can't fix this system. It's working the way it's supposed to. Shut it down. Start over with pro-family values. Just like Nancy Schaefer said, it's that simple. Pro-family values. There's no forever family in foster care. Look at all these missing kids. How many they got now? How many missing? This is just Los Angeles. They're showing 800. Let me do a search here. Let's just do a category, everything. Show us everything. Search. All genders, all categories. How many do we have? It fluctuates between 850 and 950 missing foster kids, Los Angeles County. Going there now. Oh, yeah, don't let me in. Here we go. But it's like Mom Sleuth said that information is very vague on these missing kids. It's ridiculous. All these runaways. So, all these runaways. Look at that beautiful picture. You can't even see it, right? Look at the picture. It's skewed. You gotta click it to see her face. But everything's made that way. They don't put information. So this isn't the ARIEL case. Is a grain of sand on a sandy beach. We estimate that we don't know how many missing. I think there was around 200,000 for 20 years. So since about 2000, there's 200,000 missing children. 185,000, 200,000, whatever. That's the kind of statistics we come up with. Okay, we're in here now. We've went to the back of the book. Yeah, 838. They have 838 missing in Los Angeles, and this one's been missing for 13 years. More than that, 16, 17. I don't know how they come up with. She's 17 now, born in 04. 2004 plus 7, yeah, that would be 21. Plus 10, 14, 21, yes. But babies listed as runaways, missing for decades. This is babies missing Just make sure you got the screen right. Let me get that off there so you can get a good view. Get that banner off there so you can have a good view. And we'll get that other banner off. Okay, again, missingkidsla.org, babies listed as runaways. No news organization will cover this. Wow. So easy to show what's going on. It's easy. It's right here. Abduction, so-called abduction. What the hell's an abduction? What the hell's an abduction? All these are foster kids. Abduction? So we're 831. Let's go. Let's do another search. Abduction. Juan Carlos detained. Abduction, but we'll show you a baby runaway. Let's see. Let's just type their name in here. Legend Young. There's Legend Young, the youngest runaway in U.S. history. Needs to be on the Guinness Book of World Records. I am serious about this. Somebody call the Guinness and say, we got a 3-week-old runaway from foster care, baby New Year. His name is Legend Young, legendary young baby, the legend of the youth. He's the fastest baby on earth. At 3 weeks old, he's able to elude foster care, CPS Los Angeles, DCFS. Show you here. So that's him. Look at him. Holds his neck up high at 3 weeks. He's 3 weeks old right in this picture. Couldn't be any older than that. And he's a runner. The drugs these parents are on, they're drug babies. They can run. They're fast. And again, I'm sorry to be sarcastic, but there's something going on here, and it can be a lot of things. This could be just a fabricated money laundering scam where they're generating 200 million a year on missing kids in Los Angeles County. Los Angeles County, epicenter child trafficking nationwide. Largest in the nation, California, Los Angeles, right here. They on 800, 900 foster kids, you could put a price of $150,000, $200,000 a year, and that's where you can come up with $200 million a year to have missing kids. There's nothing better than having a missing kids and the federal money still keep coming in. There's nothing better than to have them on here for decades and laundering money. So, and creating a missing child. I mean, who would post this picture in this position like this? Who's running this freaking website? To twist a picture like that. And the child's clearly over 3 weeks old in this picture. And again, legendary young, and I'm going to show you where it says runaway. Let's see, let me get back. Let's type him in again. But I would say there's at least 12 babies listed as runaways. We're talking up to 1 year old. So, yeah, right there, runaway. Let me see, I'm going to blow that up real big. Get that there. Missing, baby New Year, runaway, male, black. Oh, with an asterisk. So, basically, it's child trafficking. It's fraud. We don't know who would give a child that name. It's almost like it's created, like it's fabricated. I mean, it's a beautiful name, if it's true. But it's a double-edged sword. It's Legend. How many people are named Legend? Help me here in the comments, people. I'm going to go back there. How many kids are named Legend? 3-week-old, missing. They say missing date, but then the missing type is runaway. And why they're classifying them as runaway. And, this stops right here. Everything should stop. Everything should stop. as we know it. So shut down the schools. Why send them to school? To be indoctrinated into the nonsense? The schools suck. Let's see, we're into viewership here. When people find out, they will never walk the streets. Yeah, we're holding foster parents accountable. Not hiding it anymore. Marcy, seen news report, hundreds of kids. Yeah, we have an estimate of 200,000 for the last 20 years. 200,000 missing kids in 20 years. Those are the statistics we're working with. So don't tell me anyone's doing anything about this. The border is nothing but sex trafficking in the open. Okay, Hillary, do your homework. Watching. Thank you for watching, Shirley. So many missing. Yeah, yeah, and they're raped. They're murdered. They're sold. They want a body part. They're parted out. Everything you can imagine. Foster care, adoption. Claims of missing. They're not missing. Wow, it's still early, so we've got to get some food here. Unacceptable, beyond unacceptable. It's unfathomable. Stand with Nancy Schaefer. I'm going to go to her right now. Again, Legend Young. See, let me blow that up again. Legend Young, Runaway. I think it's on the screen there. I think you can read that. There it is. Haha. Legendary youngest 3-week-old runaway from foster care in the world. We haven't heard anybody as fast as him. And when I say call Guinness, we want him to get his act. He makes O.J. Simpson look like a snail. I mean, this kid he's legendary. Not only he's legendary, and his name's a legend. And he's young. He's legendary young. It's like they made this up. Don't put it past them to make this stuff up. To put a kid in here is missing for what's this one? 5 years or almost 18 years to collect the money for children that literally don't exist. That this could be fabricated. We wouldn't know. You can't trust anything they do or say. Hold everyone accountable. Every cop, every politician, who else? Everybody who's not talking about us. School teachers. We got a war going on right here. This is a war. And again, commenter, they're doing it in front of our faces. Yes, they are. And you can't stop them. And they love to do it in front of your face and let you know you can't stop them, especially the judges. The judges are doing this. There we go. We love this one. Boom. Fostergate. Spirit cooking, Fostergate. We have the power to shut this down. Let's just want to get that point across. Let's just go to Nancy Schaefer now in honor and loving memory. Again, we did cover the ARIEL Sellers case, Hawaii. Now we're going to take you to Nancy in honor and loving memory of our hero. Here, Nancy Schaefer.
My name is Nancy Schaefer, and I'm from the state of Georgia in the United States. And thank you for your gracious invitation to join you tonight. And thanks to all of you who have made this incredible World Congress of Families #5 in Amsterdam possible. It's a privilege for me to join you tonight and to be with you in some pro-family policy here. I will share with you on the unlimited power of Child Protective Services. I served in the Georgia State Senate And after 4 years of viewing the ruthless and unsparing actions of Child Protective Services, also called CPS, which I will use tonight, I wrote a scathing report entitled "The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services." Thank you. The report cost me my Senate seat. Here's some copies of the report, if you'd like to get one. However, there are causes worth losing over. And this is one. I'm going to talk about some of the problems and then some realistic, maybe, solutions for families and children. And maybe look to some steps that we can take. This is not to say that there are not those children in wretched situations who need to be removed. There are, and we all agree. But tonight, I'm talking about those children removed from their homes intentionally for profit. Children are seized unnecessarily from their families due to the federal aid created in 1974 entitled the Adoption and Safe Families Act. It offers financial incentives to the states that increase adoption numbers. To receive the adoption incentives or bonuses, local CPS must have more children. They must have more merchandise to sell. Funding is available when a child is placed in a foster home with strangers or placed in a mental health facility and medicated, usually against the parents' wishes. Parents are victimized by the system that makes a profit for holding children longer and bonuses for not returning children to their parents. This is abuse of power. It is lack of accountability. And it is a growing criminal political phenomenon spreading around the globe. Oftentimes, but not always, poor parents are targeted to lose their children because they do not have the wherewithal to hire an attorney or fight the system. Being poor and lacking proper housing does not mean your children should be removed. CPS has redefined poor to mean psychologically inferior. Therefore, it is in the best interest of the child to be removed. Best interest, of course, has also been redefined at the child's expense. It has been reported over and over that 6 times as many children die in foster care than in the general public. Once a child is legally kidnapped and placed in official safety, the child is far more likely to suffer abuse, including sexual molestation and or rape. Case workers and social workers are often guilty of fraud. They withhold and destroy evidence, and they seek wrongly to terminate parental rights while being protected by state immunity. There is a huge bureaucracy made up of judges, court-appointed attorneys, guardian ad litems, social workers, state employees, court investigators, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, foster parents, adoptive parents, and on, who are looking to the children in state care for their job security. Judges have control over private living arrangements and income of 48.3 million Americans. The United States Census Bureau reported in 2002 that 40 billion in transfer payments were made between households of custody parents and other parents. That money, 40 billion, is under the direction and control of family court judges in environments covered with confidentiality laws that protect the wrong people. Fathers are victims of this unjust system. Child support payments, even without having visits with their children, are choking the very life out of fathers. 3 fathers, of whom I am aware and have been in touch with, committed suicide in the last 12 months because they lost the opportunity to even visit with their children. These are crimes against humanity for financial gain. Rights are removed from parents. Human rights, civil rights, and even religious rights. One illustration of what took place in my district is that after so many calls, I decided to call a meeting in one of the counties of my own district. I personally called 37 families that had been in touch with me who had all lost their children, grandchildren. I had them meet me in the library one Saturday morning. We started at 9 o'clock and we ended at 9 o'clock. We had 50 families standing outside the door that could not get in. We didn't have time to talk with them. There was incredible anguish and profound suffering from these families. Some children had been taken off the school bus, taken out of the hospitals, or taken out of their homes in the middle of the night, and even worse. It was just an incredible ordeal. These parents, trapped in the system, become like refugees. They're dazed and glazed and have no one of whom to turn. They do not know what to do, and the loss of their children is devastating. After having worked in this arena for several years, I do not believe that a single child comes out whole after having been in this system. Many foster children make up the homeless population of today. I introduced legislation, Senate Bill 415, in my last session. A substitute bill was written at the last minute by the chairman of the Judicial Committee. All the strong points of my bill had been compromised. I was told, accept it, Senator. At least you will get some legislation passed. And I answered with, obviously, you do not know me. I did not come to the Capitol to get legislation passed. I came to make a difference. What can be done? An independent audit should be called on every state of all Child Protective Services departments. I am in touch with congressmen and state officials, and the door may be possibly opening very slowly. A federal congressional hearing is needed. But let me add, due to the hundreds upon hundreds of cases that I've been called to consider, I placed calls to state senators, representatives in their respective states across the country, asking them to help me with certain families. And I was told, if I help that family, or if I help you, I will lose my job. Remove, abolish the federal and state financial incentives, and those are taxpayer dollars. Those dollars have turned CPS into a business that takes children and separates families for money. Open family court. Remove the confidentiality laws. Give parents their rights verbally and in writing. I even feel that to terminate the rights of parents, the case should be heard before a jury. Family rights and parents' rights must be protected. We do not need more influence like the UN's Convention on the Rights of the Child. It's anti-parent, anti-child, and anti-common sense for the family. There has to be perseverance for any great reform, and great reform is needed in this area. As Charles Spurgeon put it, how do you tame a lion that is well fed? First, he must be brought down. Second, his stomach must be lowered. How do you tame Child Protective Services? It may be only by closing it completely and starting over at the beginning with pro-family values. In closing, let me remind you that there is case law from state appellate and federal district courts and up to the United States Supreme Court, all of which affirm the constitutionality of the rights of parents to actually be parents to their children. There's biblical law too. It goes like this: speak up for those who can't speak for themselves, and for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. Thank you.
Powerful message. That's Nancy Schaefer. Okay. Again, want to just go over real quick, maybe a recap, what the core of what we were doing here this evening, who it was for. Trying to get you there now. This right here. This picture should be enough. This picture is enough. We've seen these pictures. We know what's happening in these pictures. This is evidence. What part of Auschwitz do you not frickin' see here? Pale. Starvation. Not happy. Traumatized. Beyond any of our imaginations or experiences. And we've seen these images before. Let me just bring in, see if I can find it to see it. Yeah, I think I saved it. Again, this is ARIEL Summers, Hawaii, missing. All sorts of red flags in this case. But this picture right here is it's another legendary shot, picture, image. Should be Getty Museum imagery. A forced adoption, black market, child trafficking. Children experiencing the most horrific abuse imaginable. Systematic. It's beyond the starvation, the bruising, the arms, the total deterioration. This is a 6-year-old child. Child trafficking. The adopters got a lawyer. They haven't been out in the public. They're hiding. He lawyered up. So what a legendary picture. Just questioning life. We can't imagine the physical torture that this child was likely experiencing. I can't. Didn't happen to me. Never happened to me. I've had other forms of abuse, but not physical. Imagine that. Please. This is ARIEL. Let me just put her name back up there if I can find it. But this is what this is all about. Powerful night, powerful evening. great conversation. Thank you all for being here. Very emotional. Good content, updates. Let me just get you back to the website to see banners. It's not here. Okay. So let's just go back here. Back this up some more. Again, this is her page. Where is Isabella Kalua, ARIEL Sellers? Again, forced adoption, black market, child trafficking, 101, all the elements. This is what this show is about this evening. We're recapping now. Please share this. She's just one of thousands. But again, we've stumbled across stuff that we hadn't seen before. So you just know right here. Doesn't even look like she can stand upright. Like her whole side of her body hurts. Doesn't she look like she's been hurt? I'm hurting. It hurts. Like, why do I have to do this? Why am I here? Those eyes. It hurts. She looks like she's in pain. Some powerful footage here. So, what else was there? Again, this is Hawaii, September 13th, reported. Hadn't been seen since the 16th, so we have no evidence of where she really was. She may not have even lived there. She was gone for no one ever seen her at the house. Somebody went and poked a hole through the eye of the banner, like they put a cigarette hole through it. Strange who would do something like that. And you know, if usually if it's mutilation, I mean, some type of if it was a kid, usually they might hit it more than once. Somebody just went and burnt the poster, the missing poster. That's odd. Again, lies everywhere, red flags everywhere. Let's go to this picture. This is some information. Crime Stopper douchebags. Again, these children aren't missing. They're kidnapped. They're trafficked, and then they're the fate of this child. If I could bring in Sabrina Ray, Natalie Finn, again, starvation. They were both starved to death, and this just, we're having flashbacks. And every other thing that was happening to Sabrina Ray specifically. But yeah, such a beautiful child. And, the probability of, they say it's a recovery effort now, right? We're going to stop looking. We're going to change it to a recovery. How do you recover something that you haven't found? I don't know. Help me out in the comments, people. Very emotional evening. We have the power, so much power. Good people are going to make this happen. Fight for her, fight for all the others. This is Auschwitz, been going on for decades. It's a war. We didn't know. We didn't know 20 years ago. They were tricking us. We didn't know. We thought they were legitimate. We didn't know it was a profit-making scam. A war. A systematic, covert war. We didn't know this. We thought, oh, they're just being mean. They're bullies. It's beyond that. Okay, here, the bruising on the arm, the face, and the neck, little abrasions. The cutting of all her hair off. Again, claims of a recovery effort. Again, everything has to stop. The traffickers, I'm not sure if this is them. Yeah, it is. The foster traffickers. There we go. Let's get a good look. People that can't come out and look for the adopted kid that never came back at 6 months in adoption, and here you go. She's gone, and no, we're not going to go out and make a public statement. No, we're not going to go out and look for her. Yes, I have 4 felonies against me. Convictions. We're going to look into that. But again, this is a very good page made by Sleuth Mom. It's here it is here. Need you to get there. Need you to make this big. Need you to get to the cpsnewsnetwork.com and never shut up. Just revolt. You have to revolt against everything to stop this. Everyone who's not saying anything. And the biggest Achilles heel of the system is the traffickers. The people that are trafficking. Oh, we're doing a good job. No, you're trafficking children. It's a trafficking ring. That's all CPS foster care adoption is. They're not safe with strangers, doing it for money. If you want to help a kid, do it for free. You have to do it for free. Her siblings, the beautiful siblings. These are possibly the other. We've heard there's 3 siblings here. But again, creep show. We know what happened. And wow, we're going to play a special song for her. Showing a better picture, better times. Let's see if I can find it. I think this is it. It's called Aren't I Yours?
Thank you. Hi, Andy J. Martinez here. I just made a new original a few weeks ago, and
Thank you all for watching. Again, support the network. Please share anything you can do. If you can donate, that'd be great. Uh, you know, we do this on fumes, and we've been doing it for 7 years. We have the cpsnewsnetwork.com website. Please go there. Please log in so we have your email in case anything happens to us. You know, we never know when they're gonna, So keep that in mind. To go to the cpsnewsnetwork.com and register. Just not register, log in with the email, and we'll always be able to communicate. It's very powerful. Again, people out there want to help us. If they have time, if they have a computer, if this is part of their ambition, reach out to us at CPS News Network page on Facebook, message us, inbox us. We have a phone number there, but basically inbox us so we can kind of identify who you are. But we need helpers to really get this content out there 247, 7 days a week. We want everything shut down. We want, until this is fixed, nothing else matters. That's the bottom line. Foster War 2021, Operation Shutdown. If you're a foster trafficker, surrender the children now. You're part of an organized, systematic child sex trafficking pedophile ring. CPS is the largest provider of those children. Keep that in mind. These children don't live. They once they're abused, they're either killed, murdered along the way, or as they get older, they don't live past 30. They die young because of the abuse. And these people are getting paid for this. Thank you all for watching. I hate to leave. Powerful evening. We went to church, did our homework. Long time coming. Again, reach out to us, share. We have the power. Stop everything. Everything needs to stop until this is addressed. This is the number one issue, period. The safety of children and families everywhere. To get the government out of their freaking lives. And support families and support children. Innocence. Foster War, remember that. CPS News Network. Sign out.